I think traditionally, we have grown up to a true blue accountant. You start with doing processing, you go on to become a controller, and then you become a CFO eventually. And that's the natural route. But I think a lot of the newer Gen Y and Gen Z who comes in, I think they expect things to move a bit faster. And subsequently, when we start to move things across to the shared services center, many of them do not get a chance to even know what is operational financial accounting is all about. One of the things that we were thinking and tossing about was to sort of send some of these sort of high potential people to spend a bit period of time with the shared services center so that they can understand the issues and what processing is all about. I give you an example. Even when I joined Jones Lang LaSalle as a CFO, I'm not far away from the ground level. I sat down even the first week to understand what it was all about so that I could understand the issues, and also I could empathize with the problems that the team was facing.
Treasury, financial planning analysis. So those are the areas where there are challenges, basically, to attract and retain people. What we do is that we give them a chance actually to be exposed to the business operation. We are exploring the moment the concept of double hatting. So meaning that you wear a FP&A hat, half of it, three-quarters of it, and then you actually try to wear a hat actually in the business sector. We also basically place finance talent in matrix project teams.
Well, I think it's absolutely vital, you know, having a strong network both internally and externally. For those of you that are not on LinkedIn and don't have an up-to-date LinkedIn page, I would certainly recommend that you do that. The first thing that any headhunter will do these days when they take in an assignment is they will have a look on LinkedIn and see who the relevant people are.
The importance of networking is really to link up with people in the profession, okay, so that we can exchange ideas, we can benchmark.
In general, what organisations do tend to look for is regional experience. We do see, obviously, a lot of non-Singaporean CFOs here that are gainfully employed in their organisations. A lot of them will have moved internally. But for someone who's not got experience in the region at the CFO level and who potentially, you know, doesn't have the right language capability, then it certainly can be difficult for them to get entry into this region. Yeah.
For a seasoned CFO, I think it's a question of the learning curve. Okay, how fast can you basically sort of pick up actually the regulation of the country? How well do you adapt actually to the new environment? How well do you probably have cross-border so-called experiences? Language capability is an advantage.
I think for the CFO to know the rule book, for me, I think the answer is no. I think you need to make sure the knowledge is in the team, but it's not about knowledge, you know, that comes from you. Otherwise, every time you move country, frankly, it's a bit of a tall order.
I think one of the key things other than a regional exposure, which I believe they can build up, and I think the attitude is the most important thing. But the other piece that I look for was the ability to adapt. For example, when I bring an Australian, I always say when you talk to someone in India or you talk to someone in Japan, these are some of the typical things that you have to look out for. I love new talent. Yeah. Like I said, I'm always interviewing, so regardless, and I'm also not averse to any nationality. I think you, as a CFO, you need to be able to weed out some that you don't think they fit in the organization. And then you keep the ones, and the ones you like, you nurture them and you build them and expose them so that they can grow with you and they can grow the organization.
Like NG, I'm not adverse to basically engaging new talent. But I believe that through the years, actually, people whom I work with, we know actually their competencies, the strengths and weaknesses, and what sort of role do they play best. So to me, this is really a competitive advantage I have. We will also basically do recruitment. If someone who appears better, okay, have better competency, I'll be open.
If the CFO is staying with the organisation and moving into a CEO role, then promoting someone from within, but there may be a couple of areas that this person still has to develop and still has a learning curve. If the CFO is leaving the organisation, then that might be a different matter entirely, because you might need someone that ticks every single box.
I think a CFO must first have done the job well, have a good track record so that the person is respected. The second piece is, I think the person should be fair, objective. You must be able to speak your mind when you look at issues and numbers. And of course, the last piece is really to be a very team player, able to work as a team with the rest of the stakeholders in the firm or outside of the firm.
To me, a good CFO, I think, must be strategic, must be able to look at things from both the business perspective and, of course, the finance perspective. A CFO also must actually have good communication skill, must also be driven, committed. One very important aspect, actually, I think a good CFO must have is what I call the financial conscience. Someone who can basically stand up and say, no, that is wrong, and I'm not going to do it.
At this point, I'd like to close the discussion and just ask that you give my panel a warm round of applause.